the consciousness problem. Mostly the interpretation and the sharing of information about now and consciousness and the information received has to do with stimulation visually, auditorily, sound, image and video, and within medicine now and health practices, social awareness and attention for together. Diversity, in other words, in cultural inclusiveness now. Eventually a distraction, described in folk psychology as it, goes away. The addict goes to buy their drug and the synchronization stops now. The bully gets constipated from their anger and visits the doctor for some laxatives now. A blind person doesn't see the world visually in the same image. A deaf human doesn't hear the violin from Itzhak Perlman now as clear and precise as the conductor keeping the beat and the rhythm now. These two examples describe the false assumptions with consciousness now. The two sources, hearing and seeing and stimulation, invalid for these disabilities, these difficulties for a person in life now. Medicine and health doctors and professors have chosen politics and limits, restrictions, control, instead of assisting and explaining, solve now. They've made a deal, in other words. Those teachers, those instructors, those lecturers, those surgeons and those nurses and those staff and those healers, with the drinkers and the smokers, to keep their consumption reduced. And their culture magnificent now. And eliminated the benefit of identifying a stimulation, time, and attention and awareness now. And the unmistakable consciousness. Now. In a court of law, two sides would be arguing about drugs and alcohol and music and art, weed and crack and meth and addiction and social solutions. And the other side, the defense, prosecuted by the masses in the crowd, would show the shape of the light and draw the abstract color now. And a decision would be made. The thug, the gangster, the woman, the gender neutral human would validate their explanation and their philosophy and their ideology and their learning now. The explanation gets so confusing and misdirected. From the complexity argued about such small duration and such extravagant elaboration now. Within the context of global climate change, leaders who are visionary thinkers, intelligent and brilliant, policy creators now. The blind and the deaf, within the explanation for stimulation and their consciousness they proclaim, fall and are in the category of a health application, an interview in the hospital, in need of care, and fulfill health care for all, and the need for those services for the poor and the suffering and those who are in trouble now. And their circumstances have to do with energy. Stimulation increased in large amounts and noticeable increases cause the misinformation. And the need for food, calories, water, sleep get misplaced. And the word everybody cherishes, loves in their worlds, cities and states and countries, overwhelms the simplistic required conditions for a coherent consciousness. Technology workers have an intelligent consciousness. They've got superheroes. They've got little action figures and video games in their homes, and they live in apartments with parks off the ground, above the earth and the land, in settings normally where birds would fly, in buildings they pay to be made and constructed now. And they see code on a computer screen, and they see a social contact on their smart technology device, iPhone, Google phone, Samsung phone, tablet. And they are alive now.